Hello everyone and welcome to Burnout Bible. My name is Alex and today we're keeping it easy and just introducing the series by answering those proverbial English class questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. So who is this series for? Well, it's obviously intended for people experiencing burnout, but I also think the content would be really good for people experiencing depression, fatigue, low energy, neurodivergent executive dysfunction, or maybe you're just someone who wants to try and make life a little easier, get a little more organized. Because that's what a lot of burnout recovery is about how can we make our lives easier. As far as who I am just someone who has been there. So I'm not like a therapist, I'm not like a board certified anything. I am just a person, as we all are. But you know what I mean. The point being, I want you to keep that in mind throughout this series because the vision for the series, the lens through which I intend it to be viewed, is advice from a friend who has been there. Okay, so you came over to my place, you're sitting on my couch, and you're like, I'm so tired and so stressed and overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, well, you know what worked for me? And thus the Burnout Bible series was created. When it comes to what Burnout Bible actually is, it's a YouTube series, but we're going to be covering topics like tips and strategies on how to manage and recover from burnout, tips and strategies on how to get things done despite being burnt out. And these are going to be a lot of actionable tips because that was something I noticed in my burnout recovery. Was I got a lot of advice that was like, make sure you drink water. Make sure you drink water and stay hydrated. That's so important. And I'm like, I understand that you're trying to be helpful, and I think that that information is helpful for some people. However, I know I need to drink water. I'm just so burnt out, exhausted. I need advice and tips on how to drink water even whenever I feel really, really bad. And so we're going to cover that. But we're also going to talk about things like how to feed yourself, how to get some exercise, how to keep your apartment clean. We're going to talk about whether or not burnout is a disability, the different levels of burnout, how to manage and experience the feelings of shame and grief that come with burnout. And of course, we are going to talk about how to find joy despite it all. As far as when the videos will be posted, they're going to come out as they come out. When it comes to burnout recovery, we're going to talk about this in the series, obviously, but when it comes to burnout recovery, you got to manage your energy, you got to be realistic about your expectations, and you got to prioritize. And so while creating the series is incredibly important to me, the dishes come first. But I promise any and all spare energy I have is going into the series because it is really important to me to make it. As far as where you can find Burnout Bible content, I am sticking to YouTube. I only have so much energy, and so I'd rather focus on one thing and prioritize that and do a really good job on that, as opposed to spreading myself too thin, getting overwhelmed, and not doing anything. As far as why I'm making Burnout Bible, I just want to create the resource that I wish I had. I found myself really frustrated because, like I said, I feel like there was a lot of advice from really well-meaning people, and I think good advice for certain groups of people, but what they considered burnout, I would consider a really good day. Now, when it comes to how Burnout Bible was created, this is just like a collection, you know? I'm like a little raccoon. You ever see like videos of like the raccoons and they're grabbing with their little hands? You know, I had a problem, I would Google it. I had a problem, I would look into it on Pinterest. I had a problem, I would do a lot of self-introspection and journaling and try to figure it out myself. And so this is just like an amalgam. How often do I get to say the word amalgam? Incredible. But this is just a bunch of stuff from everywhere, all over the internet, all put into one place. Anyways, my downstairs neighbor has started playing music and I literally cannot focus for the life of me, so we're going to call it there, which is probably for the best. If this content interests you, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.